Hello, welcome to the channel. As you all know, KSET 2024 examination, it is scheduled on November 24th, which is coming very soon. In view of this, previous KSET paper, that is KSET January 2024 paper, organic as well as inorganic questions, they are discussed in very detail. All the questions are covered in 4 videos. If you have not watched those videos, you can just considering watching those videos. Now for physical chemistry, I have started a series called as Daily Dose, where some important concepts of physical chemistry they are taken, and with the help of one particular question from KSET January 2024, that concept it will be discussed in detail. Already 2 such concepts I have done. This is third in the series, that is about rate and stoichiometry. So in this video, we shall take a question which is related to rate of the reaction and stoichiometry, and how we can solve that we shall see. Before I move on to the question, if you want to have a look at chapter wise and topic wise sorted all previous year appeared KSET questions, you can think of considering these books. If you want to order these books, you can directly contact this number via WhatsApp. Coming to the question now. The question says that 2NH3 that gives N2 plus 3H2. So simply it is decomposition of ammonia, and for this reaction they have given that if minus dNH3 upon dt. So this means rate with respect to NH3, if it is expressed, that they have said that it is equal to K1 into NH3 concentration. Similarly, the rate of the reaction with respect to nitrogen, if you write that, they have given that it is K2 into concentration of NH3. Similarly, rate of the reaction with respect to hydrogen, if it is written, they have mentioned that it is K3 into NH3. So first thing that you should know to solve this question is that rate of this reaction, this is just a single reaction, and rate of this whole reaction, it can be expressed either in terms of NH3 concentration, or in terms of N2 concentration, or in terms of hydrogen concentration. So whether you express it with respect to this or with respect to this or with respect to this doesn't matter. It will be just talking about the rate of the whole reaction. So now that rate of the whole reaction, decomposition of ammonia, whatever they have given, how we can express it in terms of different reactants and products, that is written here. This you know how to write rate of a reaction with respect to any of the reactant given or product given. This is done in this way. So like if it is reactant, minus sign it is included, and the stoichiometric coefficient it is taken in the denominator like this, 1 over in the denominator this stoichiometric coefficient will come. So therefore it is minus 1 upon 2 into dNH3 upon dt, that will be is equal to, so this being the product and no stoichiometric coefficient, straight away it is dN2 upon dt, and this also being the product, it is dH2 upon dt with plus sign, but stoichiometric coefficient 3, it is written as 1 over 3. Why exactly this 1 over 3 and 1 over 2 it is to be considered, and why this minus sign, all those things, if you are interested in knowing, let me know. I'll make a separate video just to explain how this equation works. So now for this particular question, we should just know that rate of the reaction, it can be expressed with respect to this reactant or any of these 2 products, and so that can be equated if we write the rate of the reaction in a particular format that I have done. So now coming to the question, how we can proceed with this. So what they have given here is, they mention that rate of the reaction, of course with minus sign, rate of the reaction with respect to ammonia, if you consider, they say that that can be taken as K1 into NH3. So now what I do here is, if I just consider this minus sign here, so that becomes minus dNH3 upon dt, that will be straight away is equal to K1 into NH3. So I can just write that. This 1 by 2 I have kept as it is. This minus sign, if I take it this side, so this quantity as they have mentioned, it will be is equal to K1 into NH3, that has been written. And similarly, if you consider dN2 upon dt, it has been straight away given that K2 into NH3 concentration, that has been written as it is. And then further, if you consider here dH2 upon dt, they say that it is K3 into NH3. Just this dH2 upon dt part, it has been replaced with K3 into NH3. This 1 by 3, it has been kept as it is. So now we may have to simplify this equation. First, if you consider these 2 equations, just by comparing these 2 equations, what I can say is that, say if I compare these 2, NH3 it is same or it can be cancelled out. 1 by 2 K1, that will be is equal to K2. Similarly, next what I do is I just compare these two equations. First I compare these two equations. Now separately I am comparing these two equations. If I compare these two equations, similarly we can write that here also NH3 it can be taken common and it can be cancelled out, and that's how K2 that will be is equal to 1 upon 3 into K3. So now we have two equations. First equation it says 1 by 2 into K1 that will be is equal to K2. The second equation it says K2 that will be is equal to 1 by 3 into K3. So because K2 is common, what we can write is that 1 by 2 K1 that will be is equal to K2, and that will also be equal to 1 by 3 K3. So essentially the answer that we have to work out, that is in this format itself. But what they have done is they have not straight away given this. So you never find here this 1 by 2 K1 or say 0.5 K1 is equal to K2 is equal to 1 by 3 K3. That you do not find. Some other options they have given. So now the thing is how we can convert this to any one of this form, that we should look at. So first one, readily we can say that first option it is not possible, because in first option they say K1 is equal to K2 is equal to K3, but this equation it can be never taken to this format, so this cannot be the answer. Now if you look at the option B, so in option B they say K1 is equal to 3 times K2. Now we have 1 by 2 K1. So 1 by 2 K1, if you want to convert it to simply K1, you should multiply it by 2. So when you multiply it by 2, everything is to be multiplied by 2. If you do that, so simply it will become here by multiplying with 2, it will become K1, 2 and 1 by 2 it will cancel. And this K2 it will become 2 K2. So K1 that will be is equal to 2 times K2. But now here what they have given is K1 is equal to 3 times K2. But if that has to happen, it will be actually 2 times K2. So therefore this is not the possibility. C, if you look at, they say it is 1.5 K1. Now what we have is 1 by 2 K1. 1 by 2 K1, if it is to be converted to 1.5, we need to multiply the whole equation by 3. Let's try that. If I multiply the whole equation by 3, so this 1 by 2 K1 that will be converted to 3 by 2 K1. 3 by 2 K1 it is nothing but simply 1.5 K1, right? Similarly, if this 3 it is to be multiplied with K2, it will be 3 times K2, and 1 by 3 K3 when it is multiplied by 3, it will be simply cancellation of 3 and 3, and it will be K3. So if you look at this option 1.5 K1, 3 K2 and K3, exactly you can just convert this particular form into the option C. So that's how option C it is the correct answer. Further, you can make sure that even option D is not the correct answer. So like by multiplying or simple mathematical manipulation of this equation, you cannot convert it to D form. So that's how option C itself is the answer. So it's actually based on a very simple concept which you know, rate of reaction, how it can be related to stoichiometry of the reaction, and like how we can write rate of the reaction with respect to all other reactants that we know, and even of course with respect to products, you know. But just further how you proceed to get the correct answer, that is the important thing. So in that way, this question it is a good question. Thank you for watching this video. If you are new to channel, you can think of subscribing the channel, or if you are watching the video without subscribing the channel, please do considering subscribing to this channel, so that after pressing the bell icon you can get notifications of new videos very readily. Please like this video, give your opinion in the form of comments, and consider sharing this video with your friends. Thank you again.